Hi, and welcome to TC 24/7, Bloomington Normal's one and only local entertainment show. I'm Maria Chandler.
And I'm Chip Brewster. You know, there's never a dull moment around the Twin Cities. It's just you've got to know where to look, and we're here to help.
Speaking of dull moments, if you're looking to improve your skills on the dance floor from awkward to expert, Stephanie Schroeder's got your groove.
She's busting out her breakdancing skills in her feature this week, all about moving your body.
What's going on, Chip and Maria? Right now I'm at Synergy Rhythm and Dance where they offer this cool class, breakdancing. I've got my whole getup on, so let's go inside and see how I do. Before I got started, I wanted to see what I was getting myself into. As instructor Danny and his colleague Joe warmed up, I learned that breakdancing is a branch of hip-hop that has been around for years. Danny himself has been breakdancing for 6 years.
I think my influence has been the negative people who have been in my life, or the negative breakdancers who I've had experiences with.
Danny now uses breakdancing as a form of release and teaches it every Thursday here at Synergy Rhythm and Dance. So after they warmed up, it was time for my private lesson.
It's very important to really keep that in mind, is that anybody can do it. There are no limits, right, Joe? Yeah. You can do whatever you want. Things that you've learned in the past, your own style. You can bring it and create it into your own personal style.
So with a background in cheerleading, I was up for the challenge of learning a new style of dance. We began creating our set with some simple step movements. In breakdancing, this is called your up rock.
All right, on the front side, we should do like this. Front, 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 front.
After I got warmed up and just about mastered the up rock, I was ready for the next piece of our set.
Okay, we're going to move on, okay? After your up rock is transitions. All right, your transitions is what makes your set complete.
For our transition, Danny taught me the batter rock. This is a simple step that allows you to move from your up rock to the floor. Simply step forward, rock back, and bend down to a crouching position.
What I like to say, it's like a story. You have your intro, you have your climax, and then you have, the transitions from chapter to chapter, and then, so like breakdancing is like self-expression of the story.
This transition brings you into your down rock, which is your floor movements. Danny then taught me the sixth step, which was the third piece of our set.
The sixth step. Okay, a lot of people stay away from it, but to me, it's traditional. You have to have it. Okay, and then you're going to bring your left leg up into a crab walk position. Bring your other hand down.
So I'm about halfway done with the class, and I'm definitely using some muscles I didn't even know I had. But right now, I'm about to do the chair pose, so let's see how I do. So after a short break, I walked back onto the dance floor and was ready to try some poses. First up was the chair. It sounds simple. Place your right hand on the ground, your right elbow into your side, your head on the ground, push off, hold your legs in the air, and hope for the best.
So how are you feeling about this?
A lot harder than I thought it was going to be, for sure.
While I didn't quite master the chair pose, I give myself an A for effort. Danny then showed me some other poses, or as I like to call them, freeze frames. Then it was on to pike kicks and mule kicks.
A lot of people think it's a lot of upper body strength, and not really. It's just a lot of endurance. And getting used to your body getting beaten up a lot.
And beat up my body is exactly what I did. But then it was time to bring out my creative side, which is a huge part of breakdancing. Danny says by doing this, you make the dance your own.
So I want you together to think of something that both of you like, incorporate it into the up rock that I just showed you.
So you said you did cheerleading, right? You should maybe put a jump in.
So we tried to incorporate a double 9 and a few more moves to make the set a little more feminine.
I get satisfaction when somebody has become autonomous with it and are able to create their own style and their moves. I get satisfaction when somebody actually feels the music. Like I can tell when somebody's into it and just feeling it, because then I feel it. It's like, oh yeah, that was dope.
Finally, it was time for me to show off my whole set. At the end of the day, I learned moves I didn't know existed and got a good workout in. But I think I should stick to my day job. For TC 24/7, I'm Stephanie Schroeder.
You know, I've always wanted to do that move where you kind of lie down on the ground and you flip up from your back and land on your feet.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Chip, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Ow, jerk.
But if you like watching those moves, then movies might be your route. Here's Mandy Lutz with what's happening in the film world.
Hey guys, I'm Mandy Lutz and I would like to welcome you to Movie Madness. If you are all movie fanatics like me, you'll be sitting in a theater this weekend, munching on some popcorn and watching one of 3 new movies hitting theaters: Dragon Ball Evolution, Hannah Montana the Movie, and Observe and Report. Fans of the hit Dragon Ball Z cartoon series are sure to have a ballin' good time watching the new movie Dragon Ball Evolution. Lead character Goku and a handful of friends battle for the Earth against the deadly forces of the Saiyans, who are sweeping across the universe, leaving a path of destruction. Goku and his friends' best chance of survival rests with the Namekian Dragon Balls, which provide them the power to summon a mighty dragon. Another movie out this weekend, sure to be a hit among the preteen Hannah Montana fans out there, is Hannah Montana the Movie. As Hannah Montana's popularity begins to take over her life, Miley Stewart, on the urging from her father, takes a trip to her hometown of Crowley Corners, Tennessee, to get some perspective on what really matters most in life. Miley is taken on an adventure filled with the kind of fun, laughter, and romance that even the famous Hannah Montana can't imagine. The final movie sneaking its way into theaters this weekend is the comedy Observe and Report, featuring Seth Rogen as Ronnie Barnhart, the main character. At the Forest Ridge Mall, head of security Ronnie patrols his jurisdiction with an iron fist, combating skateboarders and shoplifters, while dreaming of the day when he can swap his flashlight for a gun and a badge. One day, the mall is struck by a flasher, and Ronnie seizes the opportunity to showcase his unappreciated law enforcement talents, hoping that solving this crime will earn him a spot at the police academy and help him win the heart of his dream girl, Brandy, the hot makeup counter clerk who won't give him the time of day. But his pursuit of glory launches a turf war with the equally competitive Detective Harrison of the Conway Police, and Ronnie is confronted with the challenge of not only catching the flasher, but getting him before the real cops do. This weekend is offering a lot of great movies for everyone. Whether you prefer an adventurous sci-fi, a good family movie, or a hilarious comedy, there is something being shown for you. Have an entertaining weekend, and thanks for watching Movie Madness.
Thanks, Mandy. When we come back, the circus is in town.
And we'll have the famous gaming update with Garrett and Carter. Stick with us.
I'm Robert Wadlow, the tallest man in the world. I'm tall, and more importantly, I'm a man, which gives me credibility.
I'm Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States of America. I'm serious, because I'm a man.
Watch the Baby Makers.
Watch the Baby Makers, because I'm a president.
Watch the Baby Makers. They're women, but they're funny.
Welcome back to TC 24/7. Giant rings, crawling things, high ropes, soaring hopes, crazy clowns, and lack of frowns. All of these can mean only one thing.
The circus is in town, and TC's Dan Code is there to take in all of the excitement.
I like doing things that are different and that aren't what people normally do, and joining a circus is definitely that. It's intense, but it's fantastic.
It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot of new stuff.
You learn things that you will keep with you for the rest of your life. A lot of leadership skills, a lot of technical skills like anything that we do here, any of the acts.
Practices are a lot of fun because you get to learn a lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally learn, and there's a lot, the people here are real helpful. They'll teach you just about anything.
And my favorite act thus far is Cedar Board, just because it's so scary and intimidating that it's so much fun, and we get to stack people 3, 4, 5 people high.
We have a lot of really cool tricks this year. Like we have a lot of stuff on giraffes that are the extra tall unicycles. And then Diablos is kind of like a form of juggling, but you have sticks and then you have a Diablo, and you can throw them and pass them and do all kinds of weird knotted tricks.
When you're juggling, there's only one throw you ever make. You throw from your one hand up in the air to your other hand. You just keep doing that back and forth. It's the only thing you do. It comes down to timing and that sort of thing.
You do grow so much with all the people that you spend your whole year with. You know, you spend time at practice with them, you spend time outside of practice with them on the weekends, you go to class with them. Like, these are your friends, and then you do this great big thing at the end of the semester together.
I think everyone here is like a friend to me, you know? It's kind of like a family, not friends, because your life depends on that person.
And I think that trust that we build between the people that are there literally to save our lives definitely builds a kind of friendship that you don't necessarily get in other organizations.
The people I've met in this organization are really going to be my lifelong friends. They're going to be the people who probably stand up in my wedding, and they're going to just be those people I call, and they are the people I call when I'm having problems.
It's been a good group of people. These are very good friends of mine that I would trust to the ends of the earth.
Gamify has been the best experience of my life. I have learned so much from this, and I will keep the memories from here and the memories I still have yet to form and experiences from this organization and take them with me through the rest of my life and hopefully be a better person because of it.
I just want everyone to come to the show, in all honesty. This is my last year, and it's our 80th year celebration of the organization. We were started in 1929. So I think the bigger the crowd, the more fun I'll have in my last year. So that's the only thing I really aspire to.
While it looks like a lot of fun, I don't think I'll be going.
Why not? What's wrong with you?
Well, I am scared of clowns.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's too bad. Fair enough, I guess. If you side with Maria on the clown creepiness, then this next segment is for you.
That's right. Garrett and Carter are here to fill you in on all the video entertainment you can have right in your own clown-free home.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the first gaming update of the year, and I'm certainly glad to be back. How about you, Garrett?
Sure.
All right, well, maybe it'll get better as we go on. First up, we're looking at Left 4 Dead. This game was developed by Valve, who brought the immortal Half-Life to PC gamers a few years ago. Expectations had to be high for this game, given Valve's past, and I think they really delivered. It's a first-person shooter that flips the script on the zombie genre and lets you actually control one of the Brain Eaters. There are 4 types. There's the hunter who pounces on enemies and rips them apart, the smoker who can pull enemy hundreds of yards with his infected tongue, the boomer who vomits and explodes on enemies to attract other zombies, and the monstrous tank who pretty much just rips through anything, including cars. In multiplayer mode, you're a member of either the humans or the zombies. The humans need to dash to a safe room at the end of the map while killing almost endless hordes of the infected, and the zombies have to try and take them out before they get there.
That sounds incredibly simple.
Yeah, it is, but the thing is, the positions of zombies, health packs, and weapon upgrades change every time a new match starts, so it's a pretty fresh experience every run. If you're looking for content, though, the game is very thin. Valve has already released some new maps for the PC version of the game, but naturally they're slower in releasing those updates to the Xbox. If it wasn't for the lacking content, I would have absolutely nothing bad to say about this title, so here's to hoping that Valve steps up their game on the Xbox. Now let's switch gears and hear about a classic title from Garrett.
Thanks, Carter. Speaking of hordes of undead monsters, the game I chose for this Retro Minute is Castlevania II: Simon's Quest. It is a Konami classic game about Simon Belmont on his quest to destroy Dracula. Simon must travel to various mansions filled with classical demons like zombies, vampires, and Medusas to find the items he needs to win. In some of these mansions, you will be faced against bosses like Death and a strange floating mask. These bosses will give you weapons and items to defeat Dracula.
You know, it's been a while, but I distinctly remember killing Dracula in the first Castlevania.
Dracula was killed in the first Castlevania, but left behind a curse that can only be broken by disposing of his remaining body. In the end, the body parts combine to bring Dracula back into his fearful, blood-sucking existence. The game is a true platformer with frustrating challenges like making difficult jumps over bottomless pits and hordes of enemies with patterned attacks. While this makes the game very hard at times, it also provides ample amounts of challenge to even the most skilled player. I recommend this game for fans of the series that haven't yet played this classic, or seasoned gamers who wouldn't mind playing an 8-bit adventure.
Sure. And that does it for this edition of the Gaming Update. I'm Carter.
And I'm Garrett, and now back to Chip and Maria.
Well, thanks, boys. Stay with TC 24/7 because coming up, I checked out one local spot in Bloomington.
And Meredith will be here with all of what's happening in the music world.
Providing up-to-date highlights, and this guy over here has a Redbird Rundown. So stay tuned. This is the lineup. professional insight.
Well, that's going to do it for our fantasy update. Stay tuned.
This is The Lineup. And in-depth interviews on all national, collegiate, and high school sports. Tune in every Thursday at 12:30 and 4:30. This is The Lineup.
Welcome back to TC 24/7, Bloomington Normal's one and only entertainment show. Dan just showed you Gamma Phi, which has been around ISU for years, and it's full of tradition.
Now let's check out a place where the walls hold plenty of Bloomington history. It's called Luca Grill. Take a look. The typical bar and grill has the typical menu: burgers, wings, beer, but pizza? Not unless you're at Luca Grill in downtown Bloomington. The historic Luca Grill has been around since 1936, when two immigrants from Lucca, Italy opened the doors for business. At first it was seafood and steaks, until it became the first pizza restaurant in Central Illinois in 1954. And it definitely has the history to back it up.
This room is just full of history. There's so many politicians and actors, comedians, musicians, local and national, on both of those. So this room just has ghosts, ghost history of the Luca Grill is incredible.
Luca has the reputation of keeping the customers coming back.
When the stars make...
What kind of pizza do you guys get?
Well, we get what we call the Jenny Special. It's pepperoni, tomato, garlic, and olives.
My friend Ryan, who runs the ISU Cycling Club, comes here every Thursday and introduced us to it. So Ryan is to blame.
Is there a special on Thursday nights or just...
It's special that we're here.
Maybe it's the tradition, maybe it's the atmosphere, complete with memorabilia of schools, newspapers, and old license plates. Or maybe it's the best thing on the menu.
Alla Baldini, it's our signature item. It's a large sausage, pepperoni, ham, mushroom, onion, green pepper, and pepperoncini peppers. We use whole pepperoncini peppers on our pizza.
Each Luca pizza is made right behind the bar, in ovens that have been there for years. This guy used to work here and watch them be put in. Whatever it is about Luca, it seems to have worked for the last 73 years.
No, it's just a very special place in the hearts of McLean County, People love this place, and so do I. If you stay here more than a couple years, you just fall in love with the building and the people, and it's being in the restaurant business for 18 years, I'd say this place is just the most special place I've ever worked in my life.
For TC 24/7, I'm Maria Chandler.
Oh my gosh, that pizza looked amazing.
I know, tell me about it. It was really hard not to eat all the customers' pizza. It was horrible.
I got a huge appetite right now. Well, I guess to satisfy my music appetite, here's Meredith with what's happening this week in music.
Well, get ready for an earful this week because the Twin Cities are jammed-packed with a variety of musical performances. First, you can catch the story of Evita, a woman who came from humble beginnings and rose to become one of the most controversial figures in history. Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote Evita. He is also famous for his writing in Cats, Phantom of the Opera, and The Sound of Music. ISU's Center for the Performing Arts will host the musical Friday the 10th and Saturday the 11th. Also this Saturday, you can hit the ground running with Lucky Boys Confusion. They will be performing at Daddy-O's with Swizzletree. You might recognize one of their songs, like Hey Driver, from the movies New York Minute and Without a Paddle. Last but not least, not only has this performance been nominated for 4 Tony Awards, but this Broadway show has been called the Grease of its generation. Footloose mimics the 1984 movie, which follows a big city kid and his transition to a small town. See him change the status quo Sunday, April 19th at the Bloomington Center for the Performing Arts. Well, that's a look at upcoming musical events in the Twin Cities. For TC 24/7, I'm Meredith Van Kampen.
Thanks, Meredith. Coming up on TC, get the scoop from Stacy on everything that's going on in the Twin Cities this weekend.
Plus, what do you get when you take a Frisbee and a golf course and just swoosh them together? We'll find out when we come back.
Freeze! What's with the attitude?
Are you tired of not laughing?
Al Bowman.
You mean Will Smith and Men in Black?
Just because the Constitution...
Then tune in every Wednesday at 12:30 and 4:30 to watch The Normal Life and The Baby Makers.
Thanks for sticking with TC 24/7. So, Chip, can you believe this weather lately? One day I'm in flip-flops, the next I'm back in my snow boots. I don't like what's going on.
I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. It really makes you want to take advantage of those sunny days. And on one such sunny day, I checked out a different type of outdoor game you can play while soaking up the sun. For this week's adventure, I wanted to do something to reflect the beautiful weather we've been having. While pondering the ideal topic, someone threw a frisbee my way, and then the perfect idea, frisbee golf, or frolf. Dan and I found the closest course to the ISU campus right down Gregory Street at Maxwell Park. We met up with a couple of guys who showed us the ropes, Alex and Mike. They started me off in the warm-up area where I received their expert tips and training.
Just try and aim it straight for it, just kind of lasering it in there. That's a little hard, but...
It's my first time!
Wrist straight, wrist straight.
Shia. 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 All right, here we go. This is the one. This is the one. That's it. Let's go home, Dan. Woo! Your turn, Alex.
Hit me in the shin.
Yeah! Good. But I bet it was a cool shot. A few more warm-up shots, and then I met Mike at the first tee where he talked me through some frolf driving techniques.
Like for distance, the best would be sidearm.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of different grips that go with it. You can just do like a single finger underneath. You can do the power grip. You go 2 fingers, and it's usually not as accurate, but you get more.
Teaching someone that first throw doesn't mean anything if you can't do it yourself. For Mike, that wasn't a problem.
Just a little approach.
While I was forced to follow that excellent shot, I feel that I did pretty good for my first time.
Power grip, power grip.
Mulligan. Okay, so my very first driving throw ever wasn't the greatest. But check out where my real throw landed.
All right, did you see where my disc landed? They went like 2 times already. This one's mine. This whole one. Fantastic.
So this whole frisbee golf thing hasn't been around too long, but it is gaining popularity. With rules similar to that of its club and ball counterpart, it attracts a younger crowd whose pockets may not be as deep. The specifically designed frisbee golf discs can be bought around most college campuses for a relatively cheap price. Throw in the local free disc golf courses, and you've got yourself an inexpensive and enjoyable hobby. At least until you get your disc lost among the weeds.
Let's see. It's rough finding the frisbee in the rough. There it is.
Fortunately for me, I found my frisbee rather quickly. Alex, on the other hand.
It's also a good idea to have highlighted color frisbees, so when it gets lost in the grass, you don't have 3 people looking for it, including one of the cameramen. Although I don't think he's really helping too much. Should I feel bad for standing here and watching? Yeah.
Yeah? That's too bad. After finishing one more hole with the guys, Dan and I headed out to find another local frisbee golf course, this time in Bloomington. All right, now I'm here at the first tee for another frisbee golf course in PJ Irvin Park. It's at the south side of Bloomington, kind of tucked away, a little bit of a hidden secret. Definitely one of the more hilly parks as you're gonna see, but that makes for a great game of frisbee golf. This park was truly hidden, as I will now be honest and tell you that we actually got lost on the way there. The park's seclusion makes it a perfect place to get away from it all and enjoy around with your friends. And we ran into just that.
Instead of walking around, you could actually do something fun, challenging instead of just walking through the forest.
While I may not have been with my buddies, I decided to use the time at the park to improve on my frolf skills. Unfortunately, my arch nemesis has far more control over PJ Irvin Park than Maxwell Park. Okay, so I'm trying to apply what Alex and his friends taught me about your grip on the frisbee golf disc when you throw it. And they were saying this is the power grip right here. And I don't know if you can see that go way down there, but definitely gonna need some power. It's okay, I have another disc. Old school way. Oh my gosh. Play it as it lies. All in the wrist. All in the wrist. That is amazing because that tree is like this big and I still hit it.
I don't know what's with it, but I just happen to be able to throw at every single tree in the park. It's a skill, you know?
A little bit more in the wrist. Oh my gosh. Mulligan. Listen, if you don't embrace the trees, how are you supposed to get along with them, all right? I try to make friends. While I did struggle against the wooden foes, many groups appear to enjoy the challenge as well as the beauty of the park's hilly environment. And don't think I'm a terrible player. While I may have issues with trees, I have video proof of my disc golf ability. You guys ready for this? This is what a hole-in-one looks like. So frisbee golf, or frolf, definitely one of the more fun outdoor activities. It gets you outside, you know, closer to the trees. I love trees. And you learn a new game, hang out with some friends. Overall, just have some fun. For TC 24/7, I'm Chip Brewster. Back to you guys in the studio. I love those trees.
So, frolfing, huh? Why isn't it called frizzolf or grisby?
I don't know, you know, frisbee golf or frolf is actually short for disc golf, okay? I don't make the rules.
Just throwing it out there, just putting in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Okay. Let's check in with Stacy with this weekend's wrap-up. Stacy?
What's up, everyone? I'm Stacy Compton, and I've got all the hot spots to hit up this weekend. If you're looking to start your weekend off a bit early, on Thursday, Upper Limits is holding family classes that start around 6 o'clock. It will include 2 hours of instruction, then after that, you're ready to actually test your limits with climbing on your own the rest of the day. If you're not too tired or you're just heading out, your Thursday night could be full of some karaoke singing. Sparrow Entertainment will have karaoke at Cheeks and Pheasant Lane starting at 8 and going until midnight. Make sure you don't stress your vocal cords too much because Friday night you could be screaming at the Prairie Thunder game. Your Prairie Thunder will be versing the Port Huron Icehawks. Face-off begins at 7:05. Nowhere other than the U.S. Coliseum. If screaming fans and fights on the ice isn't your scene, then on Saturday, think about heading over to the Eastland Mall for Take the Stage Against Violence. This event is to raise awareness about the effects of sexual violence. There will be poets, dancers, steppers, bands, solo artists performing. So I hope I was able to give you the lowdown on what's happening here in the Twin Cities this weekend. I'm Stacy Compton, and that's your weekend wrap-up. Back to you guys.
Well, hopefully you have plenty of ideas for your weekend agenda.
Thanks for watching TC 24/7, and as always, we'd love to hear from you, so shoot us an email at tc247@ymail.com.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
One of my favorite things to do with my girlfriends is going to the movies. Hey. I'm right there with you.
3.
Danced.
Oh, dang it. I just don't know how to transition to that.
TC 24/7 goes in depth with more on a local fighting class. Right.
Here it is.